Hello, my friends. We are live, it says, from the Connecticut Delta to wherever you live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to live stream number nine. You know what I mean when I say that? If you are a Beatles fan or if you're of a certain age, you can't just say the number 9. You have to say it at least 4 or 7 times. Number nine. Hello, everybody, and welcome to live stream number 9. There we go. I have some things on my mind. I want to hear what is on your mind as well. Lots to talk about today. Mostly I want to talk about your questions for me. When you have a question, put a couple of question marks in advance of your question. That's how I know it's a question, right? So I've been saying hello to a few of you already. Hello, Laura. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Dwayne. Crotchety old geezer. Welcome. I feel like we've known each other for a long time. Crotchety. I think I used to be a crotchety old geezer. I said hello to Dwayne earlier, but hello again. Hello, Stephen. Welcome, you guys. So at the top of the chat, I posted a YouTube link, and it's a couple of great guitar players that I thought I'd throw their names into the mix today. So we'll talk about them a little bit. Looking at my list of things, I have a couple things I want to say before we even get started with your questions. When I timestamp these live stream videos in the days following the video, I read through the chats because I can't always read through them carefully during the live stream. And I realize that I miss a couple of your questions, and I don't want any of you to take that personally. So if you have posted a question with the question marks in advance, just like the way I like it, and I still miss your question, it is nothing personal. Feel free to post it again this week, okay? I just, in the fog of war, I see some questions and I jump on them and I miss others. So I apologize, but hopefully you remember the question and you can post it again. All right. What I want to talk about today includes, yes, we'll do a little bit on the circle of fifths. If you remember last week, right before you thought I was going to talk about the circle of fifths, we lost the video feed. The chat was okay. I don't know what was up with that. I actually talked about the circle of fifths for about 5 or 10 minutes. So we're going to do that again this week because that was lost. I want to tell you about my coming up trip to southern New Hampshire and southern Maine, or New Hampshire and southern Maine. Because I'm hoping to see a few of you in that neck of the woods. I want to tell you about a couple of books I have in mind. Lots to do. Okay. Let's start with some very cool books. I'm not sure if either of these books are going to be easy to find. So why am I showing them to you, you might say? Because they're worth looking for. Okay, Warner Brothers. Good old Warner Brothers. At one point, Warner Brothers put out a series of books, and the music of so-and-so, in this case, is the music of the Eagles, Made Easy for Guitar includes their greatest hits, arranged by Mark Phillips. I'm 99% certain that not only this book, but this whole series is out of print. It'd be too good to be true if it's in print. But it's this particular one, this version of the Eagles, songs. If this is any indication, this whole series is so cool. And there's so many of these out there. I forget if I plugged this book before. I'm going to plug it again. If you are so inclined to hunt around online, any place where you might find used books, there's alphabetically, there are so many great people on here. I feel like I plugged this book once before. Everyone from, Steve Miller, Rush, Rod Stewart, Genesis, the Doobie Brothers, Jackson Browne, Fleetwood Mac. There are easily 30 or 40 books like this, simplified a little bit for us mere mortals, and but just good information with lyrics and the melody notes. You don't have to be able to read music, although if you can read music, great. Anyways, if you feel like playing detective online, again, the publisher is Warner Brothers, and I think this series, on the back they call it Easy Guitar Superstars, so maybe that's the name of the series. I don't know. At one point this was $6.95. So it's not specifically the Eagles that I'm recommending, it's all of them. I see Pink Floyd, Larry Gatlin, that's a name you don't see all the time. Anyways, okay, that's my plug for book number 1. Book number 2, this may be still in print. I wouldn't be surprised if this one is still in print. This is, originally this is from Amsco Publications, AMSCO. And at one point they were folded into a larger publisher, I think the Music Sales Publishing Company. Anyways, the Complete Guitar Player Songbook, obviously there was a number 1. This lists, well, it must be these 2 of them for sure. Anyways, specifically the Songbook, the Complete Guitar Player Songbook, you've got a nice collage of faces. You can play Name That Face. A lot of these are right on. I had a hard time picking out that guy because I saw Paul Simon and I recognized a lot of these folks. And then I thought, who is that guy? I'll tell you who I'm pretty sure it is. Take a guess. Okay, look closely, everybody. You know, we got Elton John, Lennon and McCartney. Looks like Joan Baez, John Denver, George Harrison, Jim Croce, Joni Mitchell, Cat Stevens. Who do you think that is? I have a guess. Okay. Anyways, just a very cool presentation of a lot of songs. Again, you don't have to be able to read music. If it is still in print, I would encourage you to get both volumes. For the record, this is called the Complete Guitar Player Songbook number 2, and presumably there's a number 1. Originally from Amsco Publications, AMSCO. Any guesses? I'm looking at the chat here. Any guesses who this guy is right there? I don't see any guesses. I'm thinking that is Ray Davies from the Kinks, right there in that picture. Anyways, I want to throw a couple of book recommendations your way. If they are out of print, you can still track them down. I bought both of these used in one of my favorite bookstores, and I got each of these for one for $4 and one for $3, and they have paid for themselves. Okay, questions. I would love to hear some questions from you guys. I'm scrolling down the chat here. Let's see who we have. We have Johnny. We have Johnny Midnight encouraging us all to hit the like button. Yeah, please do give us a like. I see 6 likes on the big board so far. Charlie Beagle looks like Bob Villa, huh? I think they're going with Cat Stevens, but yeah. North Country Fisher, welcome. Harmonica and Guitar Progress, welcome. Who else do I see? I see Pooba John. Hey, Pooba John. Music Fan, hello, Music Fan. Oh my gosh, how could I forget? I have an update, not an update, but I have a big announcement for my coming up in my household. So much to talk to you guys about. Okay, so as I'm waiting for any questions to pop up my way, tomorrow is Kitten Day in my house. 2 kittens, 2 orange kittens, 2 sisters coming to my house tomorrow. Well, they will be living in my house tomorrow. We have to go get them. Anyways, tomorrow's Kitten Day, new Kitten Day. You've heard of New Guitar Day. Tomorrow's New Kitten Day at my house. And yeah, it's going to be good times at my house. So one son going off to college, the only son going off to college, and takes 2 kittens to replace him. So good times at my house. We are still looking for kitten names. Well, no, we have tons of names. We are looking to decide on the kitten names, you know. So that's what's new in my household. Okay. Other things I want to talk to you guys about. Okay. In the end of July, beginning of August, I and my family will be in southern Maine on vacation, and I found a handful of guitar stores that would be happy to sort of host a little meet and greet. It's really just me hanging out at the guitar store, and any of you who live anywhere near southern Maine are invited to come by. So tentatively, this is tentative, look at my notes here. In Portsmouth, New Hampshire, there's a place that sounds very cool called Gary's Guitars. So tentatively, I have a plan to make an appearance and do a little shopping at Gary's Guitars, possibly Friday, August 4th. Okay, for those of you who live in the vicinity of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Friday, August 4th, tentatively in the late afternoon. This is all tentative, okay, you guys? If you want to, as it gets closer, follow me on social media, okay? If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, just search for Songbike, Songbike, Songbike on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll be posting as these things become definite. For those of you who live in southern Maine, in Wells, Maine, there is a music shop called Toontown. And Toontown, I haven't decided exactly when I'll be in Toontown at Toontown Music, but it's probably going to be maybe Thursday the 3rd, maybe, of August, or maybe Tuesday the 1st of August. Okay, again, like a late afternoon, early evening thing before they close up. Toontown in Wells, Maine. And for those of you who live up closer to Portland, Maine, there's a place called Buck Dancer's Choice, and we're talking about a Wednesday afternoon meet and greet, Wednesday, August 2nd at Buck Dancer's, late afternoon, maybe around 4 o'clock or so. All of this is tentative, but I spoke with very nice folks at each of these 3 places, and I'm a big fan of mom and pop music stores. Who isn't, right? And all those places proved to be very, very nice to deal with and very encouraging. I told them, hey, I'd like to stop by, hang out, see what you got as a shopper. Also, these places, I believe all of them offer guitar lessons. No surprise there. So I definitely want to hang out with the guitar teachers and talk about, life, compare war stories. And then, of course, meet any of you. I mean, that's the number one reason I'm doing this. So if any of you live near any of these music shops, Portland, Maine, Wells, Maine, and Portsmouth, New Hampshire, first week of August, let's get together and hang out. So yeah, like I said, share war stories. And I have war stories. I have guitar teacher war stories. Okay, everybody, let's get some questions in, because otherwise I'm going to keep talking. North Country Fisher, first question on the board. First question that I'm noticing anyways. Hey, North Country Fisher. Great question. Okay, North Country Fisher asks, is it normal to struggle with holding an electric guitar? I'm finding it is. It is slipping down my thigh quite a lot compared to my acoustic. 100%, totally different, right? For those of you who've had an opportunity to play both, electric guitar just feels so weird. I would say the majority of my students start off an acoustic guitar and eventually get an electric guitar because it's so fun. And I encourage all of you to get one of each instrument. So yeah, acoustic guitar, it sits so nicely on your leg. However you hold it, ultimately sits there okay, right? And it's big and it's boxy. Even the smaller ones have a nice boxy feel to them. And you grab it and you hug it, and it's your guitar. Electric guitars, on the other hand, significantally thinner body, and yet they're a lot heavier, right? Acoustic guitar, let's say 3 or 4 or 5 pounds for an acoustic guitar, I'm guessing, but in that ballpark. Electric guitars, easily 7 pounds, 8 pounds, 9 pounds, depending on your exact electric guitar. So, a pound or two here or there, only a pound or two, but in terms of that extra weight and then the weird slippery solid body shape, oh yeah, I'm not surprised at all. So what's the remedy? The remedy is a guitar strap for the electric guitar so that you're not psychologically relying on any part of your body holding the guitar in place, the electric guitar. You have this subconscious trust, so to speak, that this strap is going to hold your guitar in place. So if you do not already have a strap for your electric guitar, good news. There are trillions of straps out there, and it's fun to shop around and pick one that matches your guitar, or that has the name of your favorite band on there, or just anything. So many guitar straps out there. My only advice, by the way, in terms of shopping for a guitar strap is definitely don't look for the absolute cheapest you can find. There's no advantage to that. For example, the last thing you want is a strap that is especially slippery, right? The tuning machines on any guitar, right? The tuning machines, these tuning pegs here, right? Carry a certain amount of weight, and they can cause the guitar, any guitar, to naturally tip down towards the floor, right? Tip the neck and the headstock of the guitar to tip down towards the floor, right? That can happen. So the last thing you want is a cheapo strap that is so slick and slippery that that's going to happen constantly, you know? So lots of straps out there though. So yeah, it's North County Fish, you're asking a good question. Number one, get a strap. Number two, especially if you do get a strap or if you already have one, consider practicing standing up for lots of reasons. There's one drawback of playing standing up. No, two drawbacks and probably more advantages. Let's get to the drawbacks. If you play any instrument standing up with a strap, acoustic, electric, any instrument, number one, you're far more likely to bang it, drop it, hurt the guitar. I'm so sorry. I've done it. I've never heard a guitar seated. I've definitely heard guitars standing up with a strap. Second drawback to playing standing up is it changes your frame of reference. And if you've never played standing up, then you feel like you've taken a couple steps backwards. And it's a temporary thing. But if you keep playing standing up, you get used to it. You know, other advantages of playing standing up. You hopefully avoid any sort of back pain or neck discomfort from playing minute after minute sitting down, right? You got to get up and stretch. You have to, especially if you know you're going to practice for 30 or 60 minutes, you got to get up and stretch. So if you're going to get up and stretch, why not do it with a guitar over your shoulder and play standing up a little bit? You know, give your back and shoulders a little break, you know. So other advantages to playing standing up is then you feel like a rock star. Why not? You know, get a mirror, see yourself playing in front of the mirror. It's a good feeling. Why not? You know, no reason why you can't do that. Stephen, I see that you say I can't play without a strap. Yeah, nothing wrong with wearing a strap, even seated. Here's what that can do. It can either literally keep your left hand from cupping the neck constantly. You don't want your fretting hand to always be holding the guitar stable. You need your hand to be mobile and agile, right? So by wearing a strap, even when you're seated, it will either remind you that you can let go of the guitar with your left hand, or even, like I said, subconsciously, you might find yourself not constantly gripping the neck in a supportive way. You want to grip the neck in a way that helps you make music, not in a way that's keeping the guitar from falling, right? And like I said, there's a million beautiful straps out there, so go ahead, treat yourself. Find that's beautiful. Okay. I'm going to scroll up here. Okay. I'm reading your text, everybody. Stephen says that, see you at Bucks. So Stephen, did I take it to mean that possibly on Wednesday, August 2nd, you can come by Buck Dancer's Choice in Portland? That would be great. Love it. Love it. And let's buy something there, right? You got to buy something. Buy some, bring enough bucks to buy some strings and picks. Just because, hey, support local music store. And for all I know, you buy everything there, and I'm the one who should bring the bucks and buy some. Hey, Teebne, how do we get on the subject of Neil Diamond? I don't know. I'll find out when I read the chats later. Okay, scrolling down, everybody. Remember, put those question marks before your question if you are asking a question. Okay, Poopa John. On the circle of fifths, it states the number of sharps and flats. Why do I need to know the info? Great answer. A great question. Stick around, Poopa John. I will. What I'm going to do in today's live stream is I'm going to hopefully say exactly what I said last week, but got cut off because who knows what the heck was up with that last week. If you remember, we had a great live stream going for about 90 minutes, and then the camera and mics cut out, right? The live chat kept going, but yeah, I don't know. Hey, Steve from Hilltown, Pennsylvania, you made it. Excellent, Steve. Welcome. Susan says, hi, Jonathan. Hi, Susan. How are you? Susan, I hope we're on for Tuesday. This Tuesday coming up, I think we are. So, Poopa John, I will get to your question about circle of fifths. I will. I'm just got my little agenda I'm working on here, but I'll get to it before long, promise. Okay. Sam, thanks for checking in with us. Thanks. Walter, hey Walter, you're late, but you made it. Yeah, you didn't miss much. Walter says, what are we discussing today? Okay, here's something I want to discuss very briefly. Outside of our live chat here, a few of you have made suggestions for things that might help my voice, and I appreciate that. My voice is fine, everybody. I am going to drink a little bit of water. My voice just sounds like this. A few years ago, I got a little tired of people asking me what's wrong with my voice. So I went to an ENT, ear, nose, and throat doctor, and he did some tests and said I was okay. And I said, well, then why do people keep telling me that my voice sounds whatever they say? And he said, I don't know. He recommended I could experiment taking some Claritin. Was it Claritin? Some some allergy meds. And they just made me feel so weird, and maybe I dried up my sinuses so much. I thought, nah. So for those of you who have any concerns or curiosity about my voice just sounds like this. It does. So yes, I'm aware that honey is good for your voice. Not the kind of thing that is hidden knowledge. Water is good for all of us. I get that. So let me ease your concerns. At the moment, I have no concerns about my voice, and you should have no concerns either. Having said that, okay. Other things I want to mention. I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say this a couple of times during our live chat today, our live stream. I'm aware a few of you asked questions last week and maybe in previous weeks that did not get answered. And I apologize for that. So feel free to ask any questions again, questions that you have asked previously that I did not answer. I get caught up in the whole towering stack of chats here, and sometimes I miss a question. And then later when I'm time stamping this video in the days after our live stream, I see questions. I think, there's someone asked a good question with 2 question marks before it, and somehow I missed it. So. Or put it this way, if you ask a question early in the show and I keep talking and I don't get to your question, ask it again. No harm there. Not to worry. Let's see. Harrison, welcome. Yeah, harmonica and guitar breaks. I know I sound scratchy, man. Maybe you guys sound too smooth. Maybe I'm the normal one. You guys sound too smooth. Beginner guitar says that he told a student that the first 5 notes of a minor pentatonic sound like the intro to Pretty Woman. Am I correct? In the ballpark. The first 5 notes of a minor pentatonic. You're in the ballpark, but no, sadly. But I will say, first of all, Pretty Woman makes for a very cool guitar exercise. And so I'm hoping that somewhere I can't remember what I posted and haven't posted. I don't want to check on your time right now, but a dominant 7 arpeggio, meaning you're playing the notes of a dominant 7 chord. A dominant 7 arpeggio leads right into the intro riff of Pretty Woman. I think the official title of the Roy Orbison classic is Oh, Pretty Woman. And then Van Halen covered it, and I'm sure lots of other people have done versions of it. So beginning guitar, technically, no, you're not correct, but I see how you're thinking. You're in the ballpark. So the first, I'll say this again, but I won't get into it too much because I think I posted this already. I think I called it the Pretty Woman exercise. Arpeggios are great exercises for both of your hands, and sometimes you get lucky, and an arpeggio that you might learn as a skill, just as a warm-up thing or as a finger skill or whatever, sometimes you get lucky that it triggers a memory of a famous song. So, because I can't resist, I'm going to do this. Let's see. See, the original key of Pretty Woman is in the key of E. E is in Edward. And I'm going to do this, but not in the key of E. Just randomly, I chose the key of B like baseball. That's okay. I'll put this in when I timestamp this video. I'll put the tab for what I just played right there. But the bottom line is what I'm playing here essentially is a dominant chord arpeggio, also known as seventh chords. That you can morph it into that riff from Pretty Woman. So it becomes a very cool exercise for your left hand. If you do down-up picking, which of course you do down-up picking with your right hand, right? When do you ever not do that? Then it becomes good for your picking hand, so both hands get a little workout. You can memorize it with a little effort, and then you can play it in any key. Because what you're really memorizing is the pattern of the fingers, you know? Okay, so real quick before I move on, I'm going to go back to the first way I played it. It happens to be the key of B like baseball. This is completely arbitrary. I picked the key of B partly because it just puts my hand in a nice kind of central place on the neck of my guitar here. Okay, ready? Ring finger, D string, fourth string, D as in dog. Ring finger, D string, 9. I'm going to give it a down up. Got to be your ring finger. Middle finger, G string, 8. Index finger, B string, 7. So far I have. Do it again. Pinky, still on the B string, 10. So far I have. And if you think about the intro to Oh Pretty Woman, at first that's the phrase. And then essentially you do that, but you expand upon it. Okay, you ready? Ring finger, 9 on the easy E strings, 9 on the skinny E string. Next note, index 7 on the easy E string. Back to that pinky on 10 on the B string. And now you have the, let's call it the extended phrase. And definitely down, up, down, up, down, up. Now don't worry, I don't expect you to memorize all that. That's why I'm going to put it in the timestamp description of this video when I do it. But it turns into a nice exercise. And you're not done with it, because when you're playing all the correct fingers on the correct frets, on the correct strings, and you're doing down, up with your pick, then you prove to the world, prove to yourself that you truly have it mastered by gliding your whole hand up or down the neck to wherever you want to go and repeat the exact same sequence in a different key, you know? So, okay. How did this start? This started because our moderator, thank you for being our moderator, Beginner Guitar. Our moderator asked, compared that riff to the notes from a minor pentatonic scale, and they're close, but not the same. Okay. Let's see here. Scrolling. Sam, how do you like those dual lock guitar strap locks from Diodario? I heard those are good. Yeah, your guitar is 10 pounds. Woo! Yeah, man, that's a workout. Yeah. Oh yeah, Stephen Mannion says, I start my practice with the My Girl riff you showed in one of your videos. Yeah, it's great. That's a great idea. Short, little, catchy, famous guitar riffs are a great way to get your fingers warmed up, get your brain tuned in. It's almost like that's what they were designed for. Plus, it just makes you feel good, because we all have our favorite little catchy riffs. My only advice is don't, once you get warmed up, especially if you're in your comfort zone and you're good at that riff and life is good and you're happy, then move on to the stuff that makes you that isn't as comfortable, right? I mentioned this quote a while back in one of our earlier live streams. So you're going to hear me quote this guy a lot. I don't remember who it was. It was in a drum magazine. Some drummer was being interviewed, and the drummer said, if someone were to walk past my drum studio while I was practicing, they would not be convinced that I was a professional drummer, right? because he's in there doing the stuff he can't do yet, probably sounds sloppy, sounded whatever, so I took that to heart. Like, that makes total sense. And it was just nice to hear another musician come out and say it. I never thought of it in those terms before. So get warmed up on the stuff you like, get warmed up on the stuff you have memorized, the stuff that's in your comfort zone. That's great. But then, get out of that comfort zone, and that's when you start tackling the stuff that you're not good at. You got it. Okay. Other things that are very important to me here. We're half hour into our live stream already. Today is my mom's birthday. And usually my mom and dad are watching the live stream here. So everybody, can we just wish my mom happy birthday today? Happy birthday, Mrs. Kehew. Happy birthday, Mom. And Mom, I'll see you later. Okay. So couldn't let the live stream go by on my mom's birthday without giving my mom a birthday shout out. My mom, they watch this on their home TV. It's like they stream the old YouTube into their home TV, but they don't see the chats. I don't know why not, because YouTube is YouTube, right? But somehow they don't get the chats. So please do wish my mom happy birthday. I don't think she's going to be seeing it on her screen, but she'll know. Okay, Mom, look at all these people saying, oh my gosh, look at all these people saying happy birthday to you, Mom. A to Z me. Thanks for being here, A to Z me. Tasha. Hello, Tasha. Okay, so all these people, Mom, they're even spelling our last name right. That's don't take that for granted in my house. That's we don't take that for granted at all. So happy birthday, Mom, and I'll see you in a little while. Okay. How about while I have 28 of you here, I would love to know where you are all watching from. And some of you, I know that already, but even if you think I know where you are, could I get everybody, all 27 of you? What happened? What happened to that 29? Okay, that's better. Come on, stick around, everybody. Could all 29 of you right now, let's have your town, your state, your country, because I know some of you are nowhere near North America. I would love to just have to bang out a whole list. And I'm doing this for selfish purposes. I would love to promote this live stream. I will promote this live stream. And I'd love to say, hey, people were watching from Omaha, Nebraska, from Edmond, Oklahoma, a little north of Montreal, Des Moines, Iowa. You know what I mean? It makes me feel good. And I think it says something about a little community that we have here. And it gives me something to post about on social media, because I'm always looking for something to post about. So what I'd love to do is, I'm sure there's an app for this. You can tell me if there is, to create a picture, like to start with a picture of the US, a US map, right? And then to drop pins where everyone is watching from, and then post that as a picture on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. I can do it kind of manually, but if any of you know of an app, and then of course I could include other countries as well. If any of you know of an app that, it's kind of like a maps app sort of, I would love to do that. Hey, I see a super chat from Beginner Guitar. Oh, Beginner Guitar, I think you're encouraging me to get a birthday present for my mom. Oh, thank you so much. Folks, Beginner Guitar is jogging my memory that if you would like to support the cause and what I do here, please consider doing a super chat. All it is that little $ at the bottom of the live chat there. You click on that and it tells you what to do. And you support what I do. Oh, in fact, I could use a little bit of support now, and I'll tell you why. Hopefully, beginning next live stream, next Saturday, updated equipment, new equipment, at least one new microphone, and possibly a different combination of microphones, a new audio interface, better sound, better looks, all of the above. So I made a bit of an investment, and the equipment is sadly arriving tomorrow from sweetwater.com. And so we won't reap the benefits until next live stream. But if any of you, hey, Dwayne, thank you for the live chat there, Dwayne, for the super chat. I appreciate that. If any of you are so inclined, believe me, the money is not going to my pocket. It's going right to paying for the new equipment. And here's more good news. That equipment is exactly what I need to also make some improvements to the overall look and sound of my YouTube videos and my videos for my website. So it was time to make an investment in good quality stuff. My wife, for my birthday, got me an awesome lavalier mic, which I'll probably pin on next time you see me. And thanks, sweetie, for the birthday microphone. So any donations you make to the cause here, believe it's going right to equipment. I'm not going to caviar and fine wines on your dime. So I appreciate it. Thank you in advance. I see San Diego. Hey, Dwight from San Diego. Nice. CLS Crate, Central New Jersey. Awesome. Covington, Louisiana in the U.S. Yeah, there you go. Western Mass, harmonica and guitar progress. Oh, so harmonica and guitar progress. I did reach out to Healy Guitars, Healy, Healy Guitars, about when they may start taking orders for custom electric guitars. And I heard back that October. October was when it plans to take orders. So we just exchanged a quick email, and so looks like he makes beautiful stuff. So my plan is at some point make an appointment to go up and see Trevor at Healy Guitars in East Hampton. Is it East Hampton, Massachusetts? And sort of get a feel for what he does. As you guys know, there's a lot of beautiful guitars out there in the world. It really helps to feel it and see just how the whole thing feels. Acoustic, of course, sound is important, 100%. With electric guitars, the sound, you can change sounds, right? You can swap out the pickups, for example. That's a pretty huge thing. What you can't change is the feel of the neck. And like most guitar players, I prioritize that almost more than the sound. On acoustic guitar, it's a little bit different because acoustic guitar, as you know, the sound, is, you get what you get, although a nice acoustic guitar, as you probably know, sounds warmer and richer the more you play it, especially the all solid acoustic guitars, right? Okay, electric guitar, on the other hand, you want to feel the whole thing. So anyways, I hope to zip up there. It's about 70 miles, or like a little trip, about 70 miles north of me here in small town Connecticut, as I like to say, the Connecticut River Delta. So anyways, there's a little update. Mark from Squamish, British Columbia. Nice. Dwayne is asking any cardiac surgery questions. I'm serious, folks. He's putting it out there. He's putting it out there. Poopa John is from Old Saybrook, Connecticut. Is that true, Poopa John? You're from Old Saybrook, Connecticut? I've heard of Old Saybrook, Connecticut. North Country Fisher from rainy Yorkshire in northern England. One more thing before we get back to the music. North Country Fisher, you should know that my wife and I watch a lot of BritBox mysteries, murder mysteries, crime, thriller kind of things. And we are convinced that every small town in the UK in general is just riddled with murder, and that we should be ready for that when we go and visit, including some charming but troubled detectives who are both solving the murders and sorting out their personal lives. So just so you know, I'm really hoping that happens in Yorkshire. Oh, Yorkshire wasn't. What was the BritBox mystery that was set in Yorkshire? North Country Fisher, you know what I'm talking about? What was it called? With that blonde detective. I thought it was set in Yorkshire. Maybe I'm wrong. We watched it. We've watched them all. BritBox can't keep up with us. They can't. We are. Yeah. Okay. Let's get on to the circle of fifths, shall we? Circle of fifths. I'm going to do a very fast recap of previous stuff we've talked about with the circle of fifths, very fast, because I want to share with you another way of looking at this. Okay, the circle of fifths is a guide towards, or an aid towards, memorizing musical information. It's an aid, it's a cheat sheet towards memorizing musical information. What musical information? Lots of musical information. That's why when people like me start talking about the circle of fifths, there's, countless things we can say, and you got to pick one. I choose to pick one. I try to pick one. Okay, so today's presentation of the circle of fifths here involves what I'm going to call chord families. Chord families. There are two reasons why you want to be familiar with chord families: writing your own songs and figuring out other people's songs. Way back when there was no internet, and if you wanted to figure out how a song went, you had to figure out how a song went, and then the internet came along. But there still may be plenty of occasions where the song that you want to sing to, for example, the chords have not been posted online. Maybe the song is too new. Maybe it's too old. Who knows? Okay. But chord families. So you want to be familiar with chord families for playing other people's songs, and definitely for writing your own songs. Okay. So eyes on the paper, folks. I'm going to keep this pretty short. Don't tune out, especially for those of you. I'm shaking my finger now. For those of you who are like, this is the technical stuff. This is when I'm gonna get some more ice cubes for my beverage. No, don't do it. Don't do it, because this is actually super relevant to people who don't particularly feel the need to learn music theory. This is relevant, okay? All right. So check it out, everybody. I'm gonna pick any one of these big capital letters I see before me on this circle of fifths. I'm gonna pick C. Why not? Good old capital C. Here's a family of chords you're extremely likely to see. A C major chord. Just to the left of C, an F major chord, and just to the right, clockwise from C, a G major chord, C, F, and G. If you play the guitar for about a week, you've come across some song with a C, F, and G combination of chords, right? I'm going to nickname C the one chord. It's right in the center. C is going to be the one chord, okay? By the way, that puts us in the key of C, okay? The F is known as the 4 chord, and the G is known as the 5 chord. C, F, G, a 1, 4, 5. When you hear someone talk about a 1, 4, 5 song, that's what the 1, 4, 5 family looks like on the circle of fifths. If C is the 1 chord, that's a big if, but if C is the 1 chord, if we're in the key of C, the 4 chord is on this side, the 5 chord is on this side. If C is the 1, F is the 4, G is the 5. Guess what? 1, 4, and 5 chords, not only do they sound good together, but they show up a lot. Good luck finding a song that doesn't somehow involve the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. They show up a lot. I'm going to pick another alphabet letter here. I'm going to pick E over here on the sharp side of the circle of fifths. If E is the 1 chord, you're going to see a lot of A major chords and a lot of B major chords. Now, because us guitar players aren't comfortable with B major, we play B7 instead, a little cheap. So you're going to see a lot of songs that are E, A, and B7, okay? If E is the 1 chord, A is definitely the 4 chord, and B is definitely the 5 chord. The 4 and 5, by the way, are nicknames. Just nicknames. Don't overthink it. The reason why A is called the 4 chord, if E is called the 1 chord, that's a big if. If E is the 1 chord, A is nicknamed the 4 chord. Why is it called the 4 chord? Because, you ready? In an E major scale, the note A is the 4th note. So the chord A is called the 4 chord, just a nickname. Don't overthink it, just a nickname. But 1, 4, and 5, that terminology shows up a lot. Okay, last thing, okay? This is going to be a quick circle of fifths thing today. It was not that long ago where I noticed something else. Now, I think I've known this all along, but it occurred to me recently as if I did not know this. So I don't know. All the minor chords you need are right under the major chords you need. What does that mean? Okay, so again, I'm going to go back to using C as my 1 chord. I'm going to go back to the key of C. This particular circle of fifths that I printed out, by the way, has minor chord names as like an inner circle. I encourage you to go online and print out any circle of fifths you want. They're all basically the same, but print one out that has the minor chord names in the inner circle. And here's one reason why. Just like C, F, and G make a nice chord family, I'm going to hold this a little closer to the camera. See the D minor, A minor, and E minor right there under the C, F, and G? Guess what? Those 3 minor chords are a beautiful complement to the C, F, and G chords, okay? And so those 6 chords, I'm going to refer to those as a complete family. C major, F major, and G major, D minor, A minor, and E minor. It's like a big slice of pizza right there, okay? And that's a complete chord family, especially if we're in the key of C. I'm going to hop over here to the key of E. Just got used E before. Why not? In the key of E, if E is the 1 chord, A is the 4 chord, B is the 5 chord. Got it, got it. But these 3 minor chords, now these are a pain in the butt because you're going to end up playing these as bar chords. But that's not the point. The point is, if you're listening to a song in the key of E and you hear a minor chord, it's extremely likely that the minor chord is either F sharp minor, C sharp minor, or G sharp minor. Okay? This is if you're figuring out the chords of a song, right? If you're figuring out the chords, there they are. If you're writing a song, I'm going to go back to the key of C because it's totally possible you write a song in the key of C. If you're writing a song in the key of C, you're going to go for one of those sincere, mysterious, dark-sounding minor chords. Those are the ones to choose from: D minor, A minor, and E minor. Okay? So, as a visual representation of musical information, this is a great source for figuring out songs, writing your own songs, because it's nice to have a mixture of majors and minors when you write a song, right? If you want the song to sound a little bit fleshed out, you don't have to mix majors and minors, but it sounds a little bit fleshed out, you know. There's a lot of emotion involved in minor chords. Okay, also, and maybe I'll get to this in the future, transposing a song. Let's say the song is in the key of E, and you're like, I don't want to play the song in the key of E. I don't want to deal with a C sharp minor, G. I don't want to deal with that. You can use the circle of fifths to transpose. Well, actually, let's do it right now. Okay, last thing. Hang in there, last thing. Okay, my pen, for the record, my pen is pointing at the E chord on the sharp side of the circle of fifths. Let's say a song goes E to C sharp minor. See what I did there? E to C sharp minor to G sharp minor to B. E to C sharp minor, G sharp minor to B. Now, to those of you who are not watching this at the moment, I get that this is not, bear with me. I know it's not what you signed up for. E, C sharp minor, G sharp minor, B. Trust me, that's an extremely common, nice, solid sounding chord progression. But you don't want to play it in the key of E. Okay, but see how this nice little slice of pizza right there? Watch what I'm going to do. You could transpose the song to the key of C. And I'm going to quiz you in a second. I want you to think about what the new sequence is going to be. It was, ready? It was E right into that C sharp minor. And then I moved, let's call this counter-clockwise to G sharp minor. And then I bounced out to that B. Okay? E, C sharp minor, counter-clockwise, and up to the B. And that's the entire sequence. Okay, so everybody, what is it? I'm going to start on C. We have now transposed the song to the key of C. Why would we do such a thing? To avoid bar chords. Number one, but often you do it to make it easier to sing. Just because a certain key doesn't work for your voice, so you change to a different key. Okay, so if C is the first chord that we're going to play in a sequence, right? In our new transpose, what's the next chord going to be? I hope you know. I hope you're going to say A minor. The song now goes from C to A minor. What's next? Counterclockwise. E minor. What's the next one? G. You have now transposed the song. And our circle of fifths lesson is done for the day. Okay? All right. There you go. Circle of fifths, a beautiful thing. So today we talked about it in terms of chord progressions. In the past, we've talked about the circle of fifths in terms of scales, sharps and flats. I mean, it never ends. Probably ends at some point, but never ends. Okay. Thank you, folks. I'm scrolling down here. Okay, I'm scrolling up now. Harmonic and guitar progress. You got the right answer? Yeah. Okay, excellent. Walter from Midland, Texas, West Texas oil field country. Man, oh, gotcha. My wife is suggesting that possibly the show that we're thinking of was called DCI Banks. Was that the name of it? DCI Banks? Well, no, that was the name of the detective, right? That was the name of the detective. Was the show called DCI? No, I don't think the show is called that. Okay. Midsummer Murders. We tried that one. It was a little too. It wasn't hardcore enough. We tried it. Midsummer Murders extremely popular, not bad, but yeah, it didn't work for us, you know. Beginner Guitars is suggesting check out Manuel Patterson guitars. They took over Jimmy Foster's business, Foster Guitars. So are they now called Patterson guitars, or are they still called Foster guitars? I'm curious. Harmonica and Guitar Progress says you can visit me when you see Trevor. Or yeah, man, good times, good times. Lorraine is watching from Montreal. Hey, Lorraine. Okay. Okay, so let's keep those questions coming in. I'm looking at 32 live streamers at the moment, which is awesome. I see 27 likes. So if you haven't liked today's live stream, why not? What have you got to lose, right? What have you got to lose? We're just about an hour in. Okay. I'm looking at my list of things that I want to cover today. And, you know, I thought I would share with you. I was thinking of meeting up with some other guitar teachers, hopefully in a few weeks when I head on my little vacation. And I'm going to, hopefully, Buck Dancer's Choice, Gary's Guitars, and Toontown. And I thought, oh yeah, exchange war stories with other guitar teachers. And here's what I can share with you. Let's see, what order should I put these things? Here are things that have happened during my guitar. I've taught for 31 years. So what has happened during a guitar lesson that I can share with you? I have had a student cry during a lesson. I've had a student throw up during a lesson. I've had a student go into seizures during a lesson. I've had a student wet themselves. Yes, it was a child during a lesson. I think I've had a student fall asleep during a lesson. I'm pretty sure that's happened. I'm trying to think if I've had any bloody nose. Yeah, just random bloody nose during a lesson. Sure. So those are the big ones that come to mind. And I remember them all vividly. You don't forget a student throwing up during a lesson or going into seizures. By the way, this was not all the same student. But, you know, if it were, at least we just get them all out of the way. That would just be like, okay, today was the day that happened. No, these are all different stories. So when I say war stories with talking with other guitar teachers and sharing war stories, if it's happened to me, it's happened to them. And so yes, yeah, those have all happened, all things that have happened to me in a guitar lesson or piano, because I teach the piano, I teach the drums. Most of those things happen during guitar lessons, I think. I won't go into too much more detail, but yeah. So just to recap, as I process through this as part of my therapy, I've had a student throw up, cry. I mean, crying like hard crying, not like hard crying during a lesson. I've had a student. Oh, and I'll tell you my favorite quote in a moment. I've had a student go into seizures. The bloody nose, I mentioned the throwing up, wetting themselves. My favorite quote of all time. Oh, how many of you are going to hear this? 33 students, 33 viewers. Okay, here's my favorite quote. Students have said a lot of humorous, memorable things over the years. I don't remember all of them, which kills me because there's some things where I think, oh God, I got to write this down, and then I forget. But my favorite story. Okay. This is many years ago now. I was a young, inexperienced guitar teacher. High school kid comes in for his lesson, and he's got the blues. I mean, I can tell from the look in his face, he has not had a good day. And I say, all right, what's going on? He's like, he doesn't even want to talk about it. I'm like, come on, because we're not going to have much of a lesson until he gets this off his chest. What's going on? Something happened in school today? Yeah. Like what's going on? He goes, well, I almost got suspended. I'm opening this can of worms. I'm this may, become something that goes beyond my pay grade. I don't get combat pay for what's about to happen here. Like, okay, well, why did you almost get suspended today? And he's not laughing about it. He's singing the blues. He goes, well, I almost got suspended because I said something profound in class. I said, you mean profane? He goes, yeah, whatever. I thought, I'm going to be telling this story the rest of my life, man. I didn't say that to him, but yeah. So for a split second, I thought, what could he have said that was so profound in class that the staff was like, we got to suspend this kid, man. That was too profound. But then I did the little mental gymnastics in my head, and I thought, I bet he meant to say profane. My favorite student quote of all time. That's it, you guys. And no one has come close to topping that quote. Okay. So thank you for hearing me out. I am now scrolling. If you have asked a question previously and I have not answered the question, feel free to ask it again, my friends. Just put a couple of question marks first. Okay. Bear with me here. Lone Star in TN. Did I say it wrong? E, C sharp minor. What did I say? E, C sharp minor, F sharp minor, A. And that becomes C, A minor, D minor, F. Yeah, I was going counter-clockwise. I hope I got it right. Hey, Bert. Bert, hello from Arizona. Ooh, I wonder how you pronounce that name of your town from Arizona. The town is A-J-O. I wonder how you pronounce that. Again, folks, I'm looking for your hometowns, or another way of putting it, let me say where you're watching from right now. Where are you watching from right now? Because I would like to create a social media post where I let the rest of the world know where you guys are watching from. So if you have not already put your current location into the chat, please do. If you are in a witness relocation program, do not put, do I have to tell you this? Do not put your location in the chat, okay? Okay. Oh, North Carolina Fisher is mentioning a show. Oh, sweetie, you notice this? Red Riding, possibly the best crime drama ever set in Yorkshire. Ooh, Red Riding. We'd never heard of that. If it's on BritBox, then hopefully we can watch it. I have not heard of Red Riding. We will figure that out. Okay, Bill R. from Chicago. Hey, Bill. Laura from Trento, Italy. Excellent. Lone Star in Clarksville, Tennessee. Okay, harmonica and guitar progress. Yes, thank you, harmonica and guitar progress. I believe your question was one of the ones I missed in a previous live stream. I noticed it later and I smacked my head. Okay. Harmonica and guitar progress is asking me any tips for guitar vibrato. Seems there are many approaches. Yes. I do have something to share with you. Vibrato is not my field of expertise. I wish I were that guy, and those people do exist out there who can discuss various types of vibratos and can illustrate each one and sound very cool doing each one. So I'll give you my 2 cents, but don't let your vibrato, don't stop with me. Okay. Some of you might remember me mentioning this weeks ago in maybe our first live stream. Okay. I found myself doing vibrato a certain way, which I'll describe in a second. And then I realized, I think I know why I'm doing it that way. Okay. So for the record, I'm using my middle finger, 2nd string, that's the B string, 6th fret. Okay, I'm just choosing that note, why not? By the way, vibrato gets easier as you go further up the neck to the higher frets. The strings, I think of it as the nut down here is doing a job, it's keeping the strings in line, right? And the nut has less of an effect on keeping the strings in line as you get further away from the nut. I don't know if a physics professor would agree with that, but that's how I explain the reality, which is that it's just easier to do vibrato as you get higher up the neck. Okay. So the way I do vibrato involves the tip of my finger only. In this case, the tip of my middle finger. That's the only physical part of my left hand that's touching the neck of the guitar. And I'm going to tip my guitar over. See how my thumb is extended out? And the palm, I don't know if you can tell, but the palm of my hand is not touching the guitar at all. I'm putting some serious pressure on that note. I'm keeping the guitar stable with my right arm, okay? Because I'm pushing pretty hard with my left arm, middle finger. If I didn't keep the guitar extra stable with my bicep and my elbow over here on my right arm, potentially I would lose control of the guitar, right? Because I'm pushing it so hard this way, extra hard. Okay. I'm also tugging the string down towards the floor. In slow motion, I tug it down, and then I kind of allow it to come back to the neutral position by like reducing my pressure by 1%. So that's what I'm working. I'm working pulling it down towards the floor. I stop working so hard, and it returns to, well, let's call it the neutral position. But I've got enough pressure against the string, pressing into the fretboard, that the sound continues. So in a weird sort of way, I'm pressing directly into the fingerboard, like I'm pressing towards my left arm, basically, but I'm also tugging down towards the floor. I'm also envisioning scraping that wiry string against the wood of my fretboard, just scraping, you know, that's an image that works for me. It's an aggressive thing. Doing vibrato is kind of an aggressive thing. Okay, now, the fact that I've relinquished any contact with the guitar except for that middle finger, I realized later that I think I picked that up subconsciously from watching Eric Clapton videos. Because in general, I'm not an Eric Clapton expert by any means, but in general, that's how it appears to me when I see Eric Clapton do vibrato. Nothing is touching the string or the neck or anything except whatever fingertip he's using, assuming that he's doing vibrato with one finger. That's all. It's not right or wrong. But you know, that's how I do it. If I was doing vibrato with 3 fingers touching the same string, I've now got my ring on the B string 8, middle B string 7, index B string 6. So all 3 fingers have their own personal fret on the second string. When I do it this way, I am definitely touching the entire guitar. My thumb is draped over the top of the neck. I can feel my palm, not my entire palm, but the part of my palm that's right below my index finger, not the center of my palm. I feel that's a different thing. So doing multiple fingers is a different approach. By the way, why would I want to do 3 fingers touching the same string? So much control, right? I mean, the muscles of 3 fingers. Who wouldn't want that much control over the string? But if for whatever reason I'm only doing the vibrato with 1 finger, that's when I take everything away from the guitar. Okay, now, I wish I had tons more information for you about vibrato. That's about it. That information is out there. Ultimately, though, I wouldn't be surprised if you do what's comfortable for you. So as you see how other people teach vibrato and as you experiment with it yourself, don't feel that you have to learn everybody's way of doing it. You know, experiment. It might all feel awkward at first, but I'm showing you what has always felt comfortable to me. And of course, I should also mention vibrato is easier on electric guitar, right? Skinnier strings, right? Easier. If you're 100% new to vibrato, when you choose, when you're doing it, experimenting with it, do it on the skinnier strings. Whatever you do, don't beat yourself up trying to do all sorts of vibrato on the heavier strings. Do it on the skinnier strings, and choose a fret relatively high up the neck. Okay, you don't get extra points for practicing vibrato at the first fret. especially if you've never done it before. Hey, Lorraine, thank you for your super chat. I appreciate that. Beginner guitar is suggesting keeping a loose wrist for vibrato. I don't know. Let's call it the Eric Clapton style. I don't think he's watching, so he won't yell at me. When I do the Eric Clapton style, my wrist is actually relatively stiff, and I'm kind of going like that. It's not this. It's when I'm doing three fingers. No, I guess I wouldn't say I have a loose wrist. But again, vibrato, man, I wish I were more qualified. B.B. King, yes, Sam is mentioning B.B. King's vibrato. Yeah, I mean, you want to watch some YouTube videos for some people who have really studied it. I look forward to it. It's on my list of things to do, you guys. Just so you know, I try to be very realistic about what I can do on the guitar and what I'd like to be able to do. And I have a wish list, just like a lot of you. Oh man, I wish I were a vibrato expert. Like seriously, it's like this is, I feel like I have tons to learn about the guitar, and it could be overwhelming. But what else are you going to do? I mean, we've all chosen to pursue something, a musical instrument, where the fun never stops. You can quote me on that. The fun, Jonathan says, the fun never stops. So you pick and choose. You be patient with yourself. You whether a certain style, a certain technique. Get as much information as you can. I'm always going to encourage you guys to find a flesh and blood teacher as close to your home as possible. But you take one technique at a time, one thing at a time, work at it, and good things happen. Okay, so Sam from Ypsilanti, Michigan, hello. Okay, folks. MWA from Carmi, Illinois. I'm guessing that's down in southern Illinois, just a guess. Raven, thanks for tuning in. Raven is tuning in from Mesa, Arizona. Raven, how hot is it in Mesa? I'm not setting up for a joke. Like, it's so hot. I'm curious, how hot is it in Mesa, Arizona at the moment? Here in Connecticut, it has been hot and humid by Connecticut standards, but I'm not going to claim that we've got any of you guys beat out there, you guys in Texas and Tennessee and Arizona. North Country Fisher says, you watched Independence Day last week, and your wife said Jeff Goldblum looks like me. I'm going to meet Jeff Goldblum someday, and I'll do a selfie, and then the world can decide. Jeff Goldblum at this point, is old enough to be my dad, I think. So, but yes, I have heard that before, and my wife makes my poor wife crazy because my wife did not marry Jeff Goldblum, and but I have heard that, yeah. Well, it'll give Jeff and I something to talk about when we do meet. Okay, I'm scrolling here, folks. My friends, we have 38 of us, 36 likes. Love it. Thank you. For those of you who have not yet liked today's video, I hope you do so soon. Quick reminder, all these live streams are recorded. In the next few days, I will timestamp this live stream so that you and anyone you know can go back and watch it and skip right to the relevant part of the video. I'm smiling because not everything is equally relevant. I get that. That'd be, yeah. Okay. In case any of you missed it earlier, I was plugging these two books. I'm going to plug them again real fast. A very cool series from Warner Brothers, which is almost certainly out of print, which is okay, but it doesn't mean you can't find it. And the series is either called Easy Guitar Superstars, which might be, maybe they put it in big print, or it might be called, The Music of fill in the blank made easy for guitar. I'm guessing that's called Easy Guitar Superstars. Anyways, there's I'm going to guess, at least 30 famous bands or songwriters. I just really like how the information is presented here. They simplify things without a doubt, but they simplify it in a good way. And I definitely use this for teaching. And I just wish, this is the only one I have from this series. I wish I had all 30. Gordon Lightfoot, Stevie Nicks, Joni Mitchell, Stephen Stills, Paul Simon, Jim Croce, Foreigner. Okay, and the other book that I'm plugging today, hopefully this one still is in print. This one, I bet this is still in print. The Complete Guitar Player Songbook #2, and I bet #1 is just as good, just different songs. Again, for my teaching, I've just found this to be very useful. Just the way they simplify the songs is nice. It's a nice collection of tunes from a lot of different people. I mean, a lot of 60s and 70s singer-songwriter kind of folks. They do something that is near and dear to my heart. They have suggested strum patterns. So it's not just the chords and the lyrics. They give you an idea of how you should strum it or finger pick it. So, like I said, I found this in a used bookstore for $4. So anyways, the publisher is Amsco, AMSCO, but it may have been picked up. Yeah, Amsco was part of the Music Sales Corporation, and I think Music Sales might have got scooped up by someone else. Anyways, for those of you who missed it in the beginning of the live stream, I just want to throw that out there. Okay, here's a problem I'm having. Last week, I did a poll, and now I can't find the poll. Where'd the poll go? The poll involved this masterpiece. I asked y'all, who amongst you have a copy of the Hal Leonard Guitar Method Book 1, which to my knowledge is a very big seller. It is a book that's designed to help all of us read music. And it does a good job of that. But it's just not a great book. And my concern, the reason why I even brought this up last live stream, was you all, or anybody watching this live stream in the future, may get a guitar from a guitar store, and on the way out of the door of the guitar store, you say to the salesperson, "Oh, by the way, what's a good book?" And this is an extremely convenient, relatively inexpensive book from a big publisher. And I can imagine any salesman saying, "Oh, take this," and you take it home, and it's just not what you're looking for, unless the only thing you want is to learn how to read music. I don't know. The reason I asked that poll question, which has since disappeared, and I want to, if you guys have any information, how do I go back in the live stream and find the poll results? I think about a third of you owned a copy of this book, if memory serves. If I found out that a lot of you have this copy collecting dust, or even if you use this book, and I hope you did, I hope you got your money's worth. I like the idea of hacking this book, meaning taking what they intended and using the material in this book, but then having some fun with it and getting more of your money's worth out of this book. So I'm not exactly asking the poll question again. What I'm asking you, do any of you know how I can find the poll results on a previous live stream? I thought it would just pop up with the chat. Okay, how would you possibly know that? I don't know. But there's 38 of you, and so I'm hoping someone knows that. Okay. Sam Stamos says, "May I recommend a specific YouTube instructor?" Yeah. Okay, so Sam, please post that channel's name or that person's name who has a vibrato instruction video that you benefited from. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, I see a couple of questions, and I'm going to jump on them right now. Have you, Jonathan, ever had an injury that messed with your guitar playing? I hurt my wrist once, fell off a bicycle for no good reason. The story is too boring. And I couldn't play for a little while. Just for like a week or two. But let me think, knock on wood, I haven't had anything. No. Although it's one of my first 3 questions when I work with an adult student. I want to know if they're right-handed or left-handed. I want to know, what their previous experience is with the guitar in general, or if they ever took music lessons as a kid. 3rd question, anything I need to know about, previous injuries. arthritis, neuropathy, whatever's going on. And because a lot of folks, basically get over about 30, and it's extremely likely that something is going on. So that's a question I ask. But thanks for asking. Knock on wood, I have not had an injury. You think I'd remember it? I don't know why I'm racking my brain. You think I'd remember it if I did? I've not had an injury that has affected my guitar playing. Sometimes I practice a lot and I can feel it the next day, and I remind myself to tone it down a little bit. I remind myself to do some stretchy warm-ups before I practice and put my hands together like I'm deep in prayer. There's all sorts of warm-ups. So someday I'll put together a little warm-up routine. Right now I'm pushing my two hands flat together like I'm praying to the Lord, and I'm just pressing my fingers against each other, rotating your wrists around. I know there's videos out there. Anything you do to get the blood flowing especially well, especially regarding your fretting hand. In my case, that's my left hand. If you do lots of finger picking, you want to do it with your right hand. Bottom line is yes. Okay. Is my guitar collection complete? For a while it was. For a while. So it's, is my guitar collection complete? No, I really got hung up on getting myself a custom electric guitar for my to celebrate my 30th anniversary of teaching guitar, and so now I can't stop thinking about it. Do I need another guitar? No. Are there better ways to spend my money? More responsible ways? Yes. So if you were to say to me, well, what am I actually missing? Oh, what I want to get? I want to get a pedal steel guitar, for lots of reasons. I'd like to get a pedal steel guitar because I'm hoping that, in theory, I'm getting older. I haven't quite made up my mind yet, but it would seem conventional wisdom is that we do get older, and if that is the case, I like the fantasy I have that pedal steel guitar. I'm miming that I'm holding a steel bar in my left hand, is less wear and tear on my wrist, especially because I don't think I'll become any amazing pedal steel guitar player. I think I do pretty rudimentary stuff. So I like to think that hypothetically, if I do get older, and especially my left wrist and fingers don't work as well as I want them to, then I will still be able to do some nice sliding on a pedal steel guitar. I have a lap steel already. It's in the other room. So anyways, my guitar collection would be complete-er. It would be complete-er if I had a pedal steel. It's on my list. But do I need another guitar? No, I really don't. Oh, you know what I could use? I could use a fancy schmancy amplifier. I have a Fender Pro Junior, 2 knobs, volume and tone. 2 knobs, 1 speaker, 1 input. Fender Pro Junior. A couple of tubes in the back. It's a sweet amp. But I hear about lots of other sweet amps that are out there, so I can't help but to wonder about that. Okay, I'm reading some more questions. MWA tells me, live polls only last 24 hours, but you might be able to check your analytics. Okay, I did check the analytics of quickly. So I'll check more thoroughly. It seems like the kind of thing they would save in the analytics, right? Because it's a poll question. Okay. If memory serves, though, about 1/3 of you said you did own a copy of How to Learn a Guitar Method book 1. So, okay. Oh, my wife is lamenting the whole Jeff Goldblum thing. Sweetie, I'm sorry. I know. Okay. If you have asked a question and I have not got to your question yet, feel free to ask it again, okay? Put it in the live chat one more time. I want to thank those of you who have made a super chat donation. I appreciate that. Like I said, the money goes to a good cause. It really does. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment here and talk about, let's see, I've got my show and tell. I'm going to talk about the DCG trick. Okay, I'm going to keep this brief. The DCG trick. Why am I choosing to talk about this today? I feel like I haven't talked about it for a while, and apparently the DCG trick will somehow be on my tombstone because it made me what I am today. Okay, long story short, I filmed a video and I called it the DCG trick, what famous bands did with easy chords. Some of you, that might literally be how you found me, because it has 11 million views or something. So I want to run you through this real quick because it's worth your time. Plain and simple, it's worth your time. Okay, so what was I thinking? What was the point of the DCG trick? I'm going to play for a minute. Okay, that's the tip of the iceberg. But I played a conventional D major chord. I played what's known as a C add 9 chord next. My ring finger, and I'm curious, how many of you can answer in the chat, how many of you are physically with your guitar right now? I hope all 32 of you. But it's something that crossed my mind earlier today. I wonder how many of you are in the garden trying to fall asleep. Some of you. But I'm curious. Oh, and why not in the chat, if you do have a guitar right there, what kind of guitar do you have? Yamaha acoustic, Gibson electric, lots of guitars out there. One of my students just got an Orangewood guitar, relatively new brand on the market, Orangewood guitars. Pretty sweet guitar. Okay, DCG trick. The D is what you think, regular D chord. The C chord is not a conventional C chord. My ring finger is staying right where it was on the D. So my ring finger is planted on the second string, B string, 3rd fret. It's planted there. I'm not going to lift it off. I'm going to reach across the neck of the guitar. Middle finger, 5th string, 3rd fret. Index finger, 4th string, 2nd fret. Known as a C add 9 chord. When I strum, I'm not going to include the fat 6th string. Okay, so far we had the D, regular conventional D, C add 9, and lastly, keeping my ring finger still where it is, 2nd string, 3rd fret, I'm going to do a 4-finger G chord. Okay, a 4-finger G. Pinky, 1st string, 3rd fret. Ring finger has never left the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Middle finger and index, kind of where you'd expect them to be for a G chord, right? Middle finger, 6th string, 3rd fret. Index finger, 5th string, 2nd fret. So I call that a 4-finger G. Okay, so what's the significance of D going to C add 9, going to G? The significance is dozens and dozens of famous songs written either with that exact chord sequence, that exact progression, or variations on that. Songs include, if you're keeping track, I'm going to hold this up to the camera and I'll read them to you, okay? Songs that use that trick. And I call it a trick because I can. It's a free country. I call it a trick. Songs that use that trick in one form or another. Sweet Home Alabama by Lynyrd Skynyrd. More Than a Feeling by Boston. White Room and Badge by Cream. The Needle and the Damage Done by Neil Young. Dear Prudence by the Beatles. Can't You See by the Marshall Tucker Band. Want some more? Sure you do. Torn and Frayed by the Rolling Stones. Cuts Like a Knife by Bryan Adams. Can't Find My Way Home by Blind Faith. Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon. They all use essentially the same skill. Over the Hills and Far Away by Led Zeppelin. Atlantic City by Bruce Springsteen. Small Town by John Mellencamp. So by adding that skill to your toolbox, you are putting yourself in a position to play all those songs. And those are the ones that I know of. I'm sure there's ones that I've missed. So is it a pretty easy skill? Yes. But remember, this is the tip of the iceberg. D to C add 9 to G. Okay, they are just Sweet Home Alabama. Okay, that's, one of many tunes. So long story short is I was making videos for public access TV. I needed a topic that could get me through a 30-minute public access TV video. And I thought, oh, I'll do something about that chord progression. I'll show little variations and how the Beatles did it and how Neil Young did it and whatever. And it made a nice episode of public access TV. But when I posted that same video on YouTube, it went crazy. And it is my most viewed video by far. I forget, 11 million in views and counting, and has generated both income and lots of subscribers. And I'm grateful for both. So as years went by, I thought, I should do something to go along with that video. And I had the brilliant idea to write a book that people could buy. So this is the book, available as an ebook. I forgot to mention, all my stuff is on sale. My usual 15% off. So this book, I think it's only $10. It's available right now on sale, 15% off. And I'm going to put this in the chat. Now, I'm partly doing this to sell books, but I'd be lying if I didn't also tell you I'm doing it because I want you guys to have it, plain and simple. I want you guys to have the information. I just put my website in the chat, and here is the coupon code to save 15%. Okay, how's that look? Make sure this came through. Okay, there we go. So by the way, if you choose to purchase the DCG Trick ebook, it will not come in the mail. It will never come in the mail because it's an ebook. It will be delivered to your email inbox and you download it, and it should arrive in your email inbox within moments of you making the purchase. You do not have to print out the whole book. I think it's 30 pages or something. Just find an exercise that you like and print out those exercises. There's a video. I believe the video, when you get the book, you also get an audio version of every example in the book. That comes for free with the book. I made a video that goes along with this, and with audio and video, and that is available on my website. So what I did here was I took this is my first book that I ever wrote, and I was a little bit nervous about copyright infringement. So instead of saying, here's how you play Can't You See by Marshall Tucker, I said, here's how you can do the DCG trick and play something in the Marshall Tucker style. Here's the Rolling Stones style. Here's the Leonard Skinner style. And essentially what I wrote was, without getting too authentic, I put something in there that is extremely similar to the original. So anyways, it's a very cool book. I'm really proud of it. So the DCG trick, at a minimum, I want you guys to know about it because it's really not that hard. And I want you to know that there's a lot of famous songs that rely on that. Some people who are not astute listeners like yourselves, they said, you don't, people need to learn how to play the regular C chord. Why are you showing them that you're whatever? That was not the point. The point, again, the subtitle of the book, what famous bands did with easy chords. A lot of famous songs were written D, not regular C, but this C add 9, and then the 4-finger G. Okay, a lot of famous. So that was my point. But you put something out there on the internet, and 5% of folks are going to see whatever they want to see, and they're going to find something to be angry about. So it is not a way to avoid learning how to play a C major chord. It's simply a really important chord and chord sequence to familiarize yourself with. Oh, and by the way, I'm always going to assume there's a handful of you guys out there who write your own songs. So for gosh sakes, if all those people use this DCG trick to write famous songs, go ahead, use it yourself. No one's going to sue anybody. Nobody owns it, right? And don't forget, you can capo up, okay? So that's just another way to make it sound more like however you want it to sound. Don't put a capo on, all of a sudden the D, C, G trick sounds different. Oh, and I even made a little chart in this book. Say you write a song with the capo on and using the DCG trick. Check this out. I thought this is kind of a cool idea. The piano player says, well, what are the chords? Well, if you do the DCG trick with a capo on 4, what the listener is hearing, instead of DCG, the listener is hearing F sharp major to E. You're doing the DCG trick with the capo at 4, and the bass player and the piano player say, okay, what are the chords? You tell them those 3 chords. Those are the chords that they need to know about. Does that make sense? Because remember, as soon as you put a capo on, the names of everything changes. What you call a D chord, because that's what it feels like your left hand is doing. The world is going to hear it as something else because of the capo. That's okay. That's a great thing. And so this is like a little cheat sheet of how to communicate what's going on with your band. Okay, going back to your questions. I hope some questions are coming in because I'm going to take a sip of water and I'm going to go down to the bottom of the chat for the absolute newest information here and start scrolling up. Okay, scrolling. North Country Fisher, this is the most recent question. I do a G add 9, but is there an easier formula for finding 9s or any other numbers? Let me think about that for a minute. There's no easy formula. The options include learning all the relevant music theory, which is a good long-term option. Other options include experimenting on your own. And here's an example of experimenting. You're strumming a D chord. D as in Dunkin' Donuts are everywhere in New England. Dunkin' Donuts. You're strumming a D chord, and you keep strumming while you let go of your first skinny string. Okay, that's an example of modifying, let's call it a normal chord, to get names like 9s and 2s and things like that. What I just did, you could do that with any chord. Either, you play the chord, but you lift away a finger, or so many chords do not involve the pinky. The pinky's available to jump in and add on a bonus note. So that's that technique of taking something you already know and either lifting a finger away or putting a pinky down, assuming the pinky's free. You're going to come up with some pretty cool sounding chords. You might not know the name of that chord, but you're going to come up with, some interesting stuff. Since you ask, in this book by Hallelujah Publication, on page, I know some of you have this book, on page 33 is a section I call the chord play trick. I'm going to hold this up to the camera. Okay, the chord play trick. And all it is a big series of specifically major chords. I stayed away from the minors. Major chords that we know and love, A major, C, D, E, F, and G. And then what happens when you either let go of a certain finger or add on a finger that wasn't being used anyways. And it shows you what the new name would be. So for instance, a C add 11. Woo! Right? C add 11. How about another juicy one? How about A suspended 2? So this is not a formula. You mentioned the word formula. This is not a formula, but at least it's a page where you can jump right in and do them and know the name of it right away, as opposed to doing it yourself and then thinking, okay, what's the name of that chord? And then I guess Googling it, or I don't know, however you do it. So many very interesting sounding chords are out there that you arrive at in easier ways than you expect. Wow, I just let go of one finger and I got this new chord. I call that getting a chord for free, a new chord for free, right? It's a beautiful thing. Sam, I see your comment in the chat. Yeah, it's yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Sam. I don't tell a student that's tedious to try and explain. But it is tedious. I know what you mean. Yeah. I try to when I get a good question, I try to answer it quickly, believe it or not, and I try to see where the student is coming from, and having said that, some students want the long answer. I started a new student. I didn't see him in the chat. I don't think. I started a new student recently who really wants to learn how to read music the real way. In fact, we are using the good old How to Learn a Guitar Method, Book 1. So I try to, listen to a student, see where they're coming from, and answer the question the way it's asked. So in which case it doesn't become tedious, because hey, if the student has a great question and wants to hear the entire answer, I'm game for it, man. I'm game. Okay. Sam is quoting Shakespeare. Hey, that might be our first Shakespeare quote in the live stream. Thank you, Sam. We broke the Shakespeare barrier. I'm scrolling up to see if there's any questions that I missed. Stephen has a Breedlove acoustic, beautiful. I feel like I remember, Stephen, when Breedloves were new on the market in the maybe mid-90s or something. And if I remember correctly, Breedlove were a bunch of people who had worked for Taylor Guitars and then broke away and started Breedlove. And wow, I remember playing a Breedlove and thinking, ooh, what a sweet guitar. And a couple of Stratocasters, very nice. So thank you, everybody, for putting your guitar, your current guitar or guitars in the chat. I was just kind of curious. Harmonic and guitar progress, you say your collection is next level. Whoa. All right. Well, that's that. I don't know. Don't say that if you don't mean it, because people are going to say, well, what do you have? What is next level? But it's not that I don't believe you, but like, you've piqued our interest. Sam, thanks for mentioning a video. If you folks scroll up a little bit in the chat, Sam has mentioned a YouTube video about vibrato that he likes. So yeah, and I thanks. I am curious too. I want to watch it too. Lorraine has a Godin guitar. What a cool company they are, Godin. Ajo is how you pronounce the town in Arizona, Walter Ajo. Yeah, gotcha. Stephen wants to know, any students play in a notable band? Any of my students? No, I have had students who have played in bands. I don't have that claim to fame. I taught so and so. Well, to my knowledge, I don't. If I did, they never got back to me and name checked me, tagged me in a post. But I have had students who have played in professional bands, and that's great. Yeah. Hey, Rowan is recommending honey. Hey, Rowan, I appreciate that. Earlier in the chat, I mentioned how I got my voice checked out and my voice is okay. I appreciate that, though. After you've had the experience of strangers stopping you and saying your voice sounds bad, you might have cancer. After you hear that a few times, you get your voice checked out. So like I said, I went to a specialist. He seemed a little bit disappointed. I think he was hoping he was going to find something that he could, publish in a paper in a medical journal. I don't know what he was hoping for, but he seemed genuinely disappointed that he didn't find anything. So on that note, today, if my voice sounds especially like me today, I taught an 8 a.m. guitar lesson, a 10 a.m., 11, 12, 1, 2. I taught 6 students. I had a break at 9, right? Break at 9, yeah. So I said 6 students with a break at 9 a.m. And then I taught one more lesson after a break. So I taught 7 students today. A lot of talking. Saturday's a good day. Okay, scrolling down. Walter's playing a Takamine. Here's a question I have about Takaminis. I think Takaminis make great guitars. Bruce Springsteen. I see him using a Takamine acoustic quite a bit, and I think that's great. I'm curious though, because he could play anything. So I wonder why he plays a Takamine. I have 2 guesses. He likes them, and I bet the company takes good care of him. You're working with a professional artist, whoever it is. You treat them right, and he wouldn't be seen playing Takamine guitar so much if they didn't treat him right. So good. I hope they're all happy. Nevertheless, I'm kind of surprised. I mean, yes, I have seen pictures of Bruce playing a variety of instruments, but I associate him with Takamine guitars. And I think that's kind of interesting. Off the top of my head, he's the only major artist I associate with Takamine guitars. I see harmonic and guitar progress. You got a bunch of stuff. I gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Is it me, or are the weeks going by fast? You ask. Isn't there a real phenomenon on how, as time goes on, our perception of time, gets shorter? Like it's your birthday, and then it's Christmas already, and then it's and then all of a sudden it's your birthday again, and like I believe there's scientific studies suggesting that is that perception. There's science behind that perception. Yeah. Walter's saying Blue on Black could be a DCG trick song. Yeah, I will be in a public place, a supermarket, and I'll hear a song, and I'll think, when I get home, man, I gotta see if that's a DCG song, because it just might be. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. Dwayne says, how do I get the DCG PDF? Can't get to download. Well, you go to my website, thesong-bike.com, and you click on the cover of it. I'll just check to make sure it's what I think it is, and you buy it, and I thank you in advance. Let's see, I'm going to confirm this here. song-bike.com. And then you go to the website. You guys, at some point, I want to learn how I can screen share with you, because I know that's a thing, screen sharing, so that you can see what I'm seeing. Yeah. So Dwayne, song-bike.com, and on the home page, click on the tab that says books, and at the bottom of that is a book called the DCG Trick. Click on that, and then you know what to do after that. Add to cart. Different ways of paying, yeah. And thank you in advance, yeah. Dwayne, you tried, huh? Oh, beginner guitar says Garth Brooks plays a Takamine. Yeah, so again, that piques my interest. I kind of wonder why Takamine, if it weren't for those 2 guys, to me, it's, at least here in the US, it doesn't seem like a very glamorous guitar for these guys to be playing. But you know what? I'm showing my ignorance. I played a Takamine for a long time. It was the house guitar where I was teaching guitar lessons. And, if you didn't feel like bringing your guitar from home, if it just wasn't convenient, you could grab the house guitar and teach a lesson on the house guitar, which I did quite a bit. It was a very cool Takamine Dreadnought guitar. It had been damaged and repaired, so it wasn't going to be available for sale. It just made for a great house guitar. And I became a big fan of Takamine. So I'm just curious to why these guys who could get endorsement deals and play all sorts of glamorous acoustic guitars. I wonder why they're playing Takamines. But hey, what do I know? Okay, Dwayne, you found it awesome. Dwayne, thank you in advance. Dwayne, don't forget to save 15%. Dwayne, before you check out, where it says coupon code or whatever it might say, Livestream 15, Livestream the digit 1 and the digit 5, to save 15%. That's my thanks from me to you. I appreciate that. Okay, folks, I would love to answer a few more questions. I see 31 of you are here. I'll tell you a few of the questions that I get very often. In the past, I have told you that absolutely one of the top questions I get is how you play and sing at the same time. Another, which I have answered to the best of my ability. Basically, you have to be good at either one or the other, right? That's a short answer. If you're good at one or the other, you can devote 99% of your brain to the one of the two that you're not good at, and that's how you do it. That's a very short answer, but that's if you want a short answer, that's a short answer. Another question I get quite a bit is, have I ever had a student who just can't do it, who just cannot play the guitar? And I wish I could say no. I wish I could be all like, anybody can do it. I had one student once who seemed to be making zero progress. I mean, one step forward, two steps back. I mean, almost like the student was getting worse. And this is a long time ago, and I'm not going to put all this on the student because I'm sure I was an inexperienced teacher, but man, the student, and it happened to be that this student, her son was taking lessons separately. And so I was sitting with his son one time, and I thought, okay, I got to get a little scoop on what's going on here, because his mom something's not right here. Like it's one thing to not make leaps and bounds in your improvements. I get that. But holy cow, in my brief experience at that time, I didn't know what to make of it. I said, hey man, so your mom's taking lessons? He's like, yeah. I said, so you guys are, did she ever, did your mom play much at home? Did she practice much? Because I was convinced, well, number one, she's not practicing. I don't know how she's actually regressing, but she cannot possibly be practicing guitar. I said, so is your mom practicing much at home? Oh yeah, he said. Oh yeah, she practices a lot. And that gave me chills, my friends. It gave me chills. In hindsight, the kid might have just been covering for his mom. Let's assume that's the case. But I thought, oh my God, she's actually practicing and somehow she's getting worse? Holy cow. I'll never know. But it's a question I get quite a bit, especially on someone's first lesson. They'll say, you ever have someone who just can't do this? So yeah, I mean, I think I moved out of town and stopped teaching at that location. And that's why she and I did not continue with lessons. So I'll never know. But in all my years, that one person does come to mind. In general, no. I have had students who struggle more with some things than other students, to be honest. I have had students who I think, wow, other people get this relatively quickly. This person seems to really be struggling with it. That doesn't mean they can't do it. It just means we're all different. I'll tell you one thing that cracks me up. Take any major chord. I'm going to leave F out of this next, example. Any major chord, C, any form of G, D, A. I guarantee you, I've had a student over the years who has sworn up and down that one chord is impossible. I've had students tell me that C is impossible, that D is impossible. So I kind of laugh because on any given student, there's going to be one chord. I'm not even talking about F. Forget F for a minute. That they swear, and they all get it sooner or later. They master it. And then they'll say to me, man, I can't believe I'm playing C. I never thought I'd ever get it, and I just laugh. But that's something I've noticed. So when people say, do I ever have any students who just cannot play the guitar? Basically, the answer is no. But it doesn't mean everyone is equal. The one thing I find with my students that make the most progress, they have nothing in common with each other, nothing at all. Old, young, big hands, little hands, nothing in common with each other except one thing. You know what I'm going to say, right? Because I've said this before. The one thing my best students all have in common with each other, not the guitar, not right-handed versus left-handed, old versus young. One thing, you know what I'm going to say, right? They practice every day, without a doubt. They absolutely have that in common. I know. You're like, he's always telling us to practice every day. But that's, what can I tell you? That's exactly what I found. Okay. Wayne, hey Wayne, learning the F chord was hard. Oh yeah, yeah. I wish, it's funny. I started the guitar at 16. I don't remember like when I finally got good at F. I don't remember getting good at bar chords. I remember working on them. I wish I remembered it better. There's some things I do remember about my progress, and I definitely use those as part of my teaching, either literally, like I remember mastering a certain song or something, or just techniques. Because then I can say to the student, I know exactly how you feel right now. But some things I just don't remember. And F, and then bar chords in general, I don't remember when I got good at those. I'm kind of surprised. Here's one thing. I don't remember, since I didn't take lessons. It's ironic. I know. You heard that correctly. I did not take guitar lessons. Eventually, after playing for many years, I did take a handful of lessons from some very cool teachers. But I'd already played for 20-something years at that point. I didn't have anyone telling me that F was a hard chord. So I didn't have that baggage. So that might have helped a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Scrolling. Hey, everybody, we got about 10 minutes left. Stephen, are you getting ready for some dinner? Yeah, sounds good. I'm getting the munchies myself. Okay. Folks, like I said before, if I missed any of your questions, now's the time to repost them in the chat so I can connect with those lessons. Just to recap here, today is my mom's birthday. So happy birthday, Mom. I hope you're having a great day. I will see you in a little while. Other things I want to mention, if you have not already posted in the chat about where you are watching from at the moment, I would love to have that so I can let the rest of the world know that you guys are out there and they should join us too. Oh, if you, I would love to grow our numbers. We have a nice, solid community of folks here, which is awesome. It makes me feel so good. But I'd love to double our numbers. So I have this dream of having 100 simultaneous viewers. So, you could help. Tell a friend that this is a way to get information on playing the guitar. Another recap, I will be in the vicinity of Maine, southern Maine, the last Sunday of July through to the first Sunday in August, which I think is Sunday, August 6th. During that time, I would love to see and say hello to any of you who live in that vicinity. So just to recap, it's very possible I will be at Gary's Guitars in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Friday, August 4th, around 4 p.m., give or take, in that ballpark. Not carved in stone, but stay tuned for more, when I do carve it in stone. Buck Dancer's Choice in Portland, Maine, Wednesday, August 2nd, around 4 p.m., give or take. And Toontown in Wells, Maine. And that's to be determined. But since I'm already booked up on Wednesday and Friday, I'm thinking maybe Tuesday or Thursday of that week, And like I said, I just want to, say hi to you folks and support a local music shop while I'm at it. And I just figured, hey, since I'm out and about, and I know some of you are up in that neck of the woods, I thought I'd put it out there. Don't forget, there's 30 of you at the moment, but this video will get 1,000 views over the next couple of days, and that will almost certainly involve some viewers who are from the North Country up there, beautiful Maine and New Hampshire. Okay, I think that is covering my recaps. Okay, I'm scrolling for a few more lessons, and then we're going to wrap this up, everybody. Okay. Walter says, cut out the spicy food. Well, easy for you to say. No, I don't eat that much spicy food. But that's interesting. Then again, there's people all over the world who eat spicy food and who maybe aren't necessarily effective. I don't know. I like my voice. I like spicy food sometimes. I like coffee. I like a lot of things. I see discussion of a beautiful Taylor 12-string. Wayne, you have a Taylor 12-string, beautiful. Take good care of it. For those of you who own a 12-string guitar, you know this, right? You know that a 12-string guitar needs extra love and attention, extra monitoring. You want to monitor that bridge of the 12-string guitar, right? All the pressure on a 12-string acoustic guitar pulls at the bridge. If you can sneak a business card, if you can take a business card and sneak it under the bridge, which I cannot do on this guitar because it is glued down, the bridge is glued down properly. If you can sneak a business card into any sort of gap, it is time, especially on a 12-string guitar, to have it re-glued. A lot of stress, the bracing on the inside, a lot of stress on 12-string guitar. I'm sure you know that already, Wayne, but for those of you who are thinking about getting a 12-string, beautiful sound, just know that they just need extra love. And the worst thing you can do with a 12-string guitar is buy it and not play it. Do not get a 12-string guitar and then stick it in the closet or under your bed, because it will essentially self-destruct, and you're not going to play it then, right? And then you are going to end up paying for repairs and stuff. Okay. Okay. Hey, Kempy's goatee. Thanks for being involved here. All right, everybody. I think that's going to do it. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to thank you for your super chats. I appreciate the donations, supporting the cause. Next Saturday, you tell me, but next Saturday the sound quality should be just a little bit better, both for my the microphone picking up my voice and on the guitar. So you tell me. It better be better because I spend a lot of money. My friends over at Sweetwater, hey, soon I'm going to be posting affiliate links to Sweetwater. That means if I mention a product like a good old Shub capo, and I say, hey, if you guys want a Shub capo, you go get it from Sweetwater, and you click on the link I provide to Sweetwater, and then you buy the capo, Sweetwater kicks back a teeny tiny percentage to me. And you know that's all. If you're going to buy something from Sweetwater anyways, I appreciate it if you click on the link that I provide. So hopefully next week I'll have that all worked out. I've been approved. I've been all, everyone stamped what they had to stamp, so I'm good to go. I just have to officially make the links available to you guys. So I'm going to put those links pretty much anytime I post a video. That link will be there, easy to click on. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it, but if you're going to go to Sweetwater anyways and buy something, then I thank you in advance. Okay, so next weekend, things to look forward to next Saturday include, I'm happy to do a little more circle of fifths, especially if you guys have some specific questions about the circle of fifths. My instinct is to actually stop talking about new stuff about the circle of fifths and do a recap of the old stuff, just like 5 minutes. Because I don't know about you, but I am the type of learner that I understand stuff as it's being spoken to me. But man, I can always use a recap. And when someone recaps what they said, it's a total game changer. So I'm happy to do that next week. But also, if you have any specific questions about the circle of fifths, feel free to keep those in mind and let me know about them. Okay, so I'm going to say good night. Good night, Stephen, North Country Fisher, MWA, Mwa. I'm going to call you Mwa, but if you don't want me to call you that, then if I'm going to pronounce it differently, then feel free to correct me. Sam Spencer. Spencer is asking a question. I don't know anything about pan guitars. I'm so sorry, Spencer. I don't know. Jeffrey Boyle. Jeff, welcome and good night. Okay, Sam, I'm going to say good night. Wayne. All right, folks, see you next Saturday. When I'm out of town, I probably will not do a live stream Saturday, August 5th, unless it's horrible pouring rain when I'm on vacation. There's nothing else to do, and then which could actually be awesome. But probably I won't do one Saturday, August 5th. I will see you guys next week. If you think of any questions this week, make a note so you don't forget them, because I would love to have more questions. Don't forget, I'm going to timestamp this video. So next time, or in the future, when you watch this, you'll be able to jump right to a topic you're interested in. Give me a few days to timestamp it. And thank you for wishing my mom happy birthday. I'm about to head over there to see her and wish her happy birthday in person. She and my dad watch these live streams. And thank you for well wishes to her. Thank you for the super chats. Okay, you guys, good night and take care. Good morning for those of you who are celebrating the next day of the calendar. And I will see you guys next Saturday. I'm told that just because I click on end stream, it doesn't end right away, but I think it does. We're about to find out. I'm clicking right now. Here we go. Okay, I clicked it and